Hello friends, this is Vinay from iOS Interview. Today we will discuss the difference between SwiftUI versus UIKit because many developers are working on SwiftUI and many developers are still working on UIKit. So we will take the advantage and disadvantage between SwiftUI and UIKit in this video. So moving further on the video, if you did not subscribe my channel then subscribe it and press the bell icon. So let's go invent tomorrow rather than worrying about what happened yesterday. This is code by Steve Jobs. So the topics we will cover on this video are what is SwiftUI, what is UIKit, advantages of SwiftUI over UIKit, drawbacks of SwiftUI over UIKit, and conclusion. So friends, with SwiftUI rapidly growing every year, we are seeing a shift in UI development. For starters, SwiftUI and UIKit are two different frameworks that allow you to create user interfaces for iOS apps. The differences lies in their approach. In this video, we will compare SwiftUI with UIKit and understand their pros and cons to help you make a better decision for your next app. What is SwiftUI? SwiftUI is a declarative UI framework introduced by Apple in 2019. It's a reactive way of building user interfaces with Swift. It uses a simple and concise syntax to let you describe what your UI should look like and automatically updates the UI when the data changes. Some key features provided by SwiftUI which can add in faster and easier development are live previews. With live previews, you can see the UI update and show the result of your code change without having to run the app on a simulator or a device, saving you from those pesky build times. Cross platform development. By cross platform, we don't mean iOS and Android, we mean you can use the same code to create interfaces for iOS, iPadOS, macOS, watchOS, and tvOS. Animation and transitions, we can easily add animations with minimal code using the built-in effects and modifiers. Accessibility. SwiftUI handles all the accessibility related features automatically, whether it's voiceovers or dark mode based on your system settings. What is UIKit? UIKit is OG framework introduced in 2007 by Apple. It is an object oriented way of building UIs with Swift or Objective C. UIKit lets you create UI elements by using classes, properties, and events. Some of the key features that make UIKit really powerful are interface builder. We can use a drag and drop to design your UI using storyboards. Auto layout. We can define constraints to define how your UI elements would adapt to different screen sizes. View controllers. We can use classes to control the behavior of our UI elements using controllers like navigation controllers to control navigation, tab bar controller or table view controllers, etc. Customization. The option to override a UIKit class to modify the appearance and functionality of UI elements is always open. Now that we know what SwiftUI and UIKit is, let's look at some of their advantages of the other. Advantages of SwiftUI over UIKit. SwiftUI has some advantages over UIKit which makes it more appealing for iOS development. Learning curve. SwiftUI has a very low bar when it comes to learning as compared to UIKit, especially for beginners. The code is simpler and cleaner than UIKit with less number of concepts and APIs to learn. Reusability. SwiftUI enables us to create reusable views that can be put together to form more complex UIs. Also, we can run the same code on different platforms, reducing the time involved in development. Live previews. As mentioned earlier, we can see the changes in UI in our UI live without even having to run the app, which make for faster development. Less bugs. Since Swift UI follows our declarative syntax, we are less prone to UI bugs. It reduces some of the most common problems with UIKit like forgetting to update IB outlet or having to deal with some unsatisfiable layouts. Drawbacks of Swift UI over UIKit. With having advantages, Swift UI also has some drawbacks and challenges that we must consider before jumping into development. Support. Swift UI requires that your app's minimum requirement is at the very least iOS 13, which means you would need to drop the older users if you want to use SwiftUI. In contrast, UIKit provides support from iOS 9. Maturity. Since SwiftUI is still in its early stages, it has a few missing features, whereas UIKit is more mature and has a rich set of components and functionalities. Resources. SwiftUI does not enough resources and tutorials or a community behind it like UIKit, which means we might have problems with SwiftUI when it comes to complex UIs. In comparison, UIKit has more than a decade of resources are available at your fingertips. Conclusion. In conclusion, so friends, in conclusion, Swift UI and UIKit are both powerful frameworks used to create UIs. However, we must consider the different pros and cons before choosing one over the other. Swift UI is a modern framework that offers a declarative style of writing code and builds UI with less code. However, minimum requirements for Swift UI is iOS 13 and higher. It's still in its infant stages, which is something to consider. UIKit is more traditional UI development framework and relies on object-oriented building style, which means more code, but it has been around from more than a decade, making it more robust when compared to SwiftUI. Finally, the choice between SwiftUI and UIKit depends on your project requirements, target audience, personal preferences, and skill level of the team. You could also use UI hosting controller to embed Swift UI code into UIKit view controllers or UI view representable to wrap UIKit in Swift UI, and that way you have the best of both worlds. But something I don't recommend you to unless you plan on migrating your existing app from UIKit to Swift UI. So friends, in this video, we tried to cover all differences between SwiftUI and UIKit. This will definitely help you to prepare for your next interview. Thank you for watching this video. Please comment below if you want download link for this PPT. So I will provide it on description box. Back. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for getting further video related iOS development interview question. Thank you.